Hey there, guys. My name is Brandon, aka Suns Geek, and if it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video about it. That is right, you guys. The Phoenix Suns defeat the Detroit Pistons, which is one of their first games, and I think a 7-game homestand. They defeat the Detroit Pistons 109-92. And you guys, I'm going to give it a minute here before we get started, but I do have a guest today. This is somebody I've known for a short while, but a big-time Phoenix Suns fan. This is a big stats nerd like myself. He is on Twitter as well, and he actually runs a separate Twitter account, I think called the Valley Stats. So we're going to bring in somebody who I really like, is my friend Evan. Evan, how you doing today, man?
I am amazing. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me. As I just said, you know, we've known each other for a short while, but you're somebody who I follow. I love all your Sun stuff that you do. Is it the Valley Stats page that you run?
Yeah, the Valley Stats.
Yeah. I'll at the end of the stream, I'll make sure to add that to the description box. You did a really fun little trivia thing the other day that was really cool, and that was even hard for me because I'm a big Suns, nerd, and Suns, as you can see by my wall, I love all the Suns legends, and I had trouble with that little trivia quiz that you did.
I looked for the most obscure stuff I could find.
No, it was really tricky. You definitely got to do more of those. Maybe one day you can come on here and we can do some Suns trivia, like in person. You know what I mean? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would.
All right. So we got already a lot of people joining. I appreciate everybody that is here. We got my friend Roy here. We got Lennon Wolf, the AZ sports fan. JV is here, and I am excited. Looks like some people already know you possibly in the chat. All righty. So yeah, as I said, 109-92. This was a weird game, Evan. I don't know if you kind of got that vibe. The Suns, they did a good job of holding the lead, but at times it was like the Pistons would kind of creepy crawl back into this game. I guess really, what are your thoughts before I kind of dive into my notes? What's your quick takeaway?
Well, so I think without looking at the box score, the way we played did not seem like we should have won, especially by the amount that we did. And then I look at the box score and we're shooting 50% from the field.
Yep.
I think really the main reason we were even in this game, let alone up 20 points, is just the Pistons could not shoot tonight. They shot 34 of 91, which is 37%. Blake Griffin shot 2 of 9, DeLon Wright 2 of 7, Josh Jackson 3 of 10, nothing new there. I don't think, and really nobody on the Pistons other than Isaiah Stewart looks like had a good shooting night. I think that was pretty much the main thing that kept us in this game. And again, like I said, it doesn't even seem like we shot that well, but we did. We shot 49% at the end of the game, 42 of 85. So, and not necessarily great again from 3, but we made 12 tonight.
That's funny because we haven't even been live 5 minutes, and you basically just summed up my thoughts. I was like, if the Pistons would have been shooting good tonight, I'm not sure if we would have won the game, because I remember early in the game, we were up 8-2, and then the Pistons went on a 8-0 run. Devin Booker was pissed, and the Suns did an okay job. Well, no, they didn't. I was going to say they did an okay job of taking care of the ball. They had a lot of turnovers early, and then kind of kept them down, and all of a sudden they had 17 turnovers. So my point being is that if the Suns would have had 17 turnovers or whatever they finished with, and the Pistons were hitting shots, we would have been in a lot of trouble, because at one point in this game, the Suns were up 21, and then the Pistons cut the lead to 11. So this was kind of the game I was waiting for, in terms of the Suns had a decently big lead and then kept the lead. You know what I mean by that? Because the Suns, as you know, they'd struggled to hold leads, and this is one of the first games where they actually did that.
Yeah, and I was obviously concerned. We had a 19-point lead at the beginning of the fourth, and then it doesn't have a timestamp here, but it looks like about 4 minutes in, the lead was 11, and I was like, oh, here we go again. And I thought, because we blew that lead, like you said at the beginning, it was 8-2, and then it was 10-8. I saw that and I was like, okay, this is not going to be a good game. Everyone's missing. And then we went up. It looks like in the beginning of the second quarter, our lead went from about 2 to 17, it looks like, in about 5 minutes. And I was like, okay. And then we held the lead. It looks like it went up and down, but we held the lead for the most part. And then in the fourth quarter, Jeremy Grant starts hitting shots. And then I'm like, oh, here we go again, repeat of every game. And then Booker, of course, turns it on then.
Yeah, exactly. Devin Booker and Chris Paul were huge in the fourth quarter. And there were just random shots here and there that the Suns would make that kind of just like sealed the lead. It kept it, out of touch. But by weird game, I mean, like at the end of the first quarter, I'm looking at my notes here. Etuan Moore, Langston Galloway, and Cam Johnson had 5 points each at the end of the first. You know what I mean? It felt like Devin Booker really didn't get going until like the second half. I will say Devin Booker had like 7 assists early. That was pretty cool to see. I mean, we all know he's been struggling with his turnovers. I've been one of his biggest critics on that. But to see that he had, I don't know what he finished with in terms of assists, but I think that was pretty good. And again, Devin Booker and Chris Paul, they did a great job of closing out this game. And that's what I like to see personally is, the Suns having closers. I think Devin Booker have 7 assists, or did I get that wrong?
He had 2. My page refreshed. Oh, here we go.
I thought
Chris Paul had 9.
Oh, it must have been Chris Paul who had 7 assists. I'm sorry about that. I don't know where I saw that. Maybe it was an incorrect stat or something. My bad. But yeah, it was a weird game like that. Maybe I don't know who had 7 assists at the end of the first half. That's a little weird. I must have totally butchered my stats right there. But let's move on here. Again, I guess really the first half summary of this game was just the Suns bench. I mean, the Suns starters didn't want to score. I think they had a 13-point lead at halftime. Cam Johnson had 10 points. Deandre Ayton didn't really have the best game. No. I kind of would like to hear your thoughts on Deandre Ayton's summary. Like, I guess his play so far this season. What are your takeaways for Deandre Ayton so far this year?
Well, I know everyone realizes he started off really slow, and then starting with the Grizzlies game, he had I think like 18 and 16 that game, and then that game and like the next probably what was it? I don't know, 4, 5, 6 games he was like all-star caliber play, and then it seems like it's sort of dropped off again. Not necessarily in rebounds. He had 13 again tonight, but he only had 8 points on 11 shots, 4 of 11 from the field. Didn't get to the free throw line again. And then I think what's most noticeable about his play right now is you can't throw a bounce pass to him when he's in the paint because he'll bend over and then he'll sort of bobble it and it'll get stolen. He had 5 turnovers tonight. I'll have to check on what he had the last couple of games, but he had 5 turnovers tonight. And yeah, I feel like every time they try, or he had 4. No, he did have 5. Okay.
Yeah,
I feel like every time they try to throw the ball to him in the paint, especially a bounce pass, he just can't like hold on to it.
Yeah.
So, and that's got to be frustrating for Chris Paul trying to create for him. And then it's just every time you try to get the ball to him, he'll just fumble it. And I think that he can turn that around. He definitely has the ability to. He just needs to work on it a bit. But
yeah, I think it's really just his hands. I've made the joke a lot of times that he needs to team up with like Larry Fitzgerald or somebody and learn how to catch the damn ball. I know that him and Ricky Rubio, when Rubio was here, they were trying to work on that. And I know that Chris Paul has probably been trying his best. Our big man position is just not good right now. I mean, I think Frank Kaminsky's been playing very well as of late, but like Damian Jones was really bad in this game. I know that Dario's been out and Jaylen Smith hasn't been playing, but it's DeAndre Ayton. And this is why I hate the plus minus in the box scores, because DeAndre Ayton was a plus 23 tonight, but he had 8 points and 13 rebounds, 5 turnovers, and 4 fouls. That makes no sense to me. I hate the plus minus score. But another stat in terms of the first half, I'm going to have to see what they finished with. In total, it was, let me see, points in the paint. But at halftime, they had 32 points in the paint at halftime. The Suns shot 49% in the first half. That was one thing that the Suns have done a better job in was, points in the paint. And going back to DeAndre Ayton here, it's like the Suns want to get him involved in the offense, and you want to really get DeAndre Ayton as many touches in the paint as you can. But like he may not finish those, and that's one thing I think the Suns have been really trying to focus on is how do they get Deandre Ayton involved in the offense? Because when he is aggressive in the paint, the whole game changes for the Suns. And it's just been a rough season for DeAndre Ayton. It's been an up and down season. He was nominated as Player of the Week, which is really good. He had that really great week. And I was going to talk about it later, but Chris Paul had a great week last week as well. Let's dive into the fourth quarter here. The Pistons started off the fourth on a quick 6-0 run. It was 87-74. And I guess really I'll just kind of repeat what I said earlier is that Chris Paul and Devin Booker helped seal the deal for us in terms of closing out this game. Let me see what else I got here. Did you have any takeaways in terms of like how the Pistons played tonight? Because they didn't really shoot that well. The Suns, they finished the game. I was trying to find the stat here. 52 points in the paint. Both teams struggled with fouls and turnovers. What did you think of the Pistons tonight?
Well, you said fouls. I was looking right now that the Suns had 26 fouls to the Pistons 16.
Yep.
And then the Pistons had 28 free throws to our 16. So again, I feel like that happens every game. We get, way more fouls than the other team, way less free throw attempts. I'm not sure how much of that is on us and how much is on the refs. But I feel like there's something we could be doing to get, I don't feel like we're aggressive enough to get to the free throw line, especially like Ayton. I feel like more. Okay, I'm sort of going off topic here, but in those games that he was, like I was saying earlier, where he was playing like all-star type caliber, I saw him attacking the rim more. And now I feel like it's kind of ironic. Now I feel like since we played Jokic in Denver, I feel like he's sitting at the elbow more like Jokic does and just looking for someone to pass to. And oftentimes it's with his back to the rim. Yeah. And I kind of feel like, I don't know if playing Jokic has anything to do with that, but I feel like since we played Jokic, he's been playing like Jokic without the stats. I don't know. I feel like he needs to get to the rim more, and he could get a lot more free throw attempts if he really wanted to.
And really, I think the whole Suns team could get more free throw attempts, like you kind of said. I mean, I feel like really one of the only players who's really aggressive at attacking the rim is Abdel Nader of all players. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like DeAndre Ayton could do that a lot more. He's more finesse than he is power, but at the same time, he's not going to be dunking it in your face like Anthony Davis or Joel Embiid or something like that. So yeah, I totally agree with you on getting the free throw line. Jeremy Grant. What? Oh, go ahead. Oh,
I was just answering Roy's question. Yeah, Cam had 14 points on 6 of 10 shooting, which is a nice change of pace as of recently for him.
Yeah, Cam Johnson was huge in this game. He really needed that kind of game where he was just making threes, because I think in last game he had like 2 threes, but it didn't really feel like he made 2 threes. I really feel like he should not be starting just yet unless we are desperate for a starter. And it's not really Cam's fault. I mean, everything's weird right now. I mean, if the Suns were clicking like we want them to be clicking, and if DeAndre Ayton was consistent night in and night out, we'd probably have a better record. And that actually brings me to a spontaneous question I wanted to ask you. Wishful thinking here, but if the Suns, were clicking on all cylinders and hitting their 3-point shots and closing out better games, no right or wrong answer here, but what do you think our record would be? Because now we're 12-9, which isn't a great record, but it's not a bad record. So hypothetically speaking, if we were better than what we are now, what do you think our record would be?
Ooh, that's tough, because there's, on one hand, I could say, like how many games? 12-9, 21 games. So on one hand, I could say like 18-3, but I know that's probably not the case. Other teams are going to get hot. It's going to happen.
Exactly.
I'd say there were definitely a couple games that we could have easily won. The last Pistons game we could have won. So, yeah. Sorry to bring that up again.
Oh, it's okay. I was furious when we lost it.
Yeah. I would say maybe 17 wins, 16 wins. I'd say that's not too far out of the question.
That was kind of what I said in one of my recent videos. I was like, I think we'd be like 15-5 or like 16-4. Because there's just, even Chris Paul said it so many times this season. He's like, there's so many games we should have won. And I just feel like I would ask you that. Like, again, that's wishful thinking. Like, if the Suns were on all cylinders, what would our record be?
It looks like, so I'm looking right now. And 2 of our 9 losses are by double digits.
Yeah.
And the next highest is by 8.
Yeah.
And then everything else is by 5 or less, it looks like.
That's the thing. The Suns have done a good job of keeping these losses. They're not like really blowouts necessarily.
Yeah. And like against the Clippers too, we were down like 30 something in that game, 31.
Yeah.
And we came back and lost by 5. And I'm like, that's a loss that as weird as it sounds, that I'm like proud of, because it says, okay, hey, we can get back in these games if we're down. You know, I feel like any other Suns team in the last 6-7 years would have just given up and said, okay, never mind. You know, we're down 31 in the second quarter. I'm not even going to try anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Random note here. I'm just kind of looking at my notes. Etuan Moore played pretty good tonight. This is a guy who, you know, he's been kind of a starter throughout his career, and he's been used to playing a specific role, and then he comes to Phoenix and struggles in the preseason, and then he's kind of forced to play point guard. And, you know, we know that he can score. He's a good floater, you know, floater specialist. And I think he's been playing pretty good, especially when we need him, because, you know, Dario Saric has been out. Campaign has been out. We need all the players that we can get. Has there been somebody off the bench that you've been impressed with?
Do you mean like this game or just the last couple of games, the whole season?
Yeah, I mean, all the above. I mean, this game, because, I mean, Etuan Moore kind of stood out to me, in my opinion. But I mean, Abdel Nader's been a player who's played great off the bench. What do you?
That's
think?
what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Abdel Nader, and of course, or not of course, but like just it's kind of weird just how he didn't play, and I just forgot he was on the team the first probably 10 or so games, and then all of a sudden he comes in and plays 25 minutes a game.
Exactly.
And he's not even bad. I like his play style. I like how aggressive he is, and I like how I feel like he could look to pass a little bit more, but honestly, if he's making his shots, I'm not complaining. It looks like he's shooting 45% on the season, which is that's not even bad. He's shooting 42% from 3 or 43%.
Yeah.
So I like him a lot off the bench, but I'd say before, before he started playing, before he changed our starting lineup, I'd say Cam was just really good off the bench, and I expected that coming out of the bubble last season. I knew he was going to have a good season. He sort of hit his sophomore slump when he's starting, and I was saying on Twitter, like, he's gonna be better when he's coming off the bench again, and he comes off the bench and has shoots 6 of 10 and has 14 points, which is exactly what he can be doing every night, which I think
exactly. And players get in funks. We've seen that all season, even from Devin Booker of all players. I feel like Mikal Bridges is kind of in a funk right now, but I will forgive it just because he has the hardest job on the team. He has to guard basically the opposing team's best player each and every single night. Now, he has been struggling from 3. I think tonight he only had 7 points or something like that. He's really been struggling. Sometimes he gets invisible on offense, but again, I can forgive that. And again, I kind of just wish that I could just see this team on, fully healthy, with everything clicking, because I think our record would be a lot better. I think some of these wins would be bigger, and we'd be able to close out games. So let's dive into the chat here. Rise Phoenix says Damian Jones is officially the best basketball player of all time. I feel bad for Damian Jones, man, because this is a guy that is super athletic, great pick and roller, can finish at the rim, but he is just been bad for the Suns. And someone made a good point on Twitter. I forgot who it was. They were like, Jaylen Smith can't outplay. I don't know what's going on with Jaylen Smith and why Monty doesn't play him. I know Monty likes to play the veterans and all that, but Damian Jones is a veteran, and he's getting minutes over Jaylen Smith.
He has 2 rings? I don't know how many rings Jaylen Smith has.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I don't know, man, but our big man position is bad. So Brent Carroll, this is a guy that's always in my live streams. I appreciate you being here, Brent. Why Why Cam Dario out? Because of the virus. I think for a little bit was that. Yeah, it's mainly just been injuries. I know that Jaylen Smith had the virus, but it's mainly just been injuries. Monty Williams said that they're both back in Phoenix, recovering and progressing. Iverson Vlog says this game proves that Cam Johnson is better coming off of the bench. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm kind of just diving into the chat here at this point. Looks like you got a lot of supporters in the chat, man. Looks like a lot of people know you. Orlando says, "What's up with Crowder not playing? Also, we get done with Greg Paul. What? I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, Jay Crowder didn't play due to injury. Monty said that he is day by day at this point.
Somehow I missed Crowder not playing. That was a surprise to me. I don't know how I missed
yeah. Luckily, we weren't playing like too good of a team without Jay Crowder. I mean, we do have we're going to dive into the schedule here in a little bit because we got some games coming up that I'm nervous about. But Sawbucks here is a big supporter of mine. He says, the Suns have been playing well lately. The Suns are missing a backup point guard like Tyrese Halliburton. I'm hoping Sticks will pan out. That kind of reminds me of something, Evan. What do you think of Jaylen Smith? Like, were you a fan of Jaylen's? Did you like the pick, I guess, is what I'm asking you.
Well, okay, so at first, obviously, I don't know if anybody liked the pick, like, right when it happened. I literally was looking at my TV, like, who is that? So then of course, at first I was like, no, I don't like this. And then I watched his highlights, and I was like, okay, that's kind of exactly what we need. If Baines is leaving, I don't think Baines was gone at that point. So I said, if Baines is leaving, then this is exactly what we need. Right. And then he went, I don't remember what his number, I remember in preseason, he was like 5 for 20 from the field, something horrible. And I was like, it's not looking good so far. And then I think he got COVID. Like, he played like 2 games and got like COVID. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna, that's not his fault. And then he got injured. I was like, okay, again, that's not his fault, but I'm kind of wishing that he could do something now. And then he's been back and has hardly played. So I think I would have a better opinion on him if he played more.
Exactly.
I just gotta wonder, like, what's going on in practice if Damian Jones, who had 0 points and 5 fouls, is playing over our 10th pick.
Exactly.
Especially when we have that big of a lead. Like, we were up 20. Did we end up putting him in? I missed the last couple minutes of the game.
I don't think we did. I don't think. And even if we did, it's garbage time minutes for him at this point. I'm looking at the box score. I guess he played 3 minutes, but he had 1 rebound and 1 3-point attempt. So it's weird with him. I want to tell Suns fans to give him time, but that's like me saying, let's give DeAndre Ayton more time. It's like, I don't know. He was the one draft pick in this draft that I did like little to no homework on. I had done so much homework on this 2020 class. And then all of a sudden, Jaylen Smith drafted the Phoenix Suns. I was like, what? I was like, who?
I wanted Halliburton and I wanted Vassell. And I said, if we got either of those, then I am happy. And then, of course, they went the next 2 picks, and you know how Halliburton's been playing. I think I haven't heard too much about Vassell, but I think he's playing well too.
It's because Devin Vassell plays for the Spurs, which is it's a Spurs pick. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like he's probably going to pan out really well for them. He's a great player. Tyrese Halliburton has been incredible. But I'm like, I really feel like they did draft Jaylen Smith for a reason. Hopefully it pans out because James Jones said, I drafted this guy so that him and DeAndre Ayton could be anchors on defense. Obviously, we haven't really seen that yet, but maybe in the future, I don't know. So Andrew says, much more of a balanced game from us, more layups and hitting them threes when we're hot at the right time. That's the thing, Evan, is like if this team can actually hit their 3-pointers, we will be a better basketball team. It's that simple.
Yeah, and my I think you saw my tweet from the other day last night when I said the 34%. When we shoot over that, then we're good, and when we shoot under, we're bad. And we shot 37 tonight, so it goes right along with that.
Yeah, and Evan is a first-time guest on this show, which thank you so much for being here, Evan. And your stats have helped out my videos, so I really appreciate that. If you guys are big stat nerds like we are, go follow Evan on Twitter. He also runs another Twitter, which is the Valley Stats on Twitter. Let's keep diving into the chat here. Sticks actually played, but it was that last 2 minutes didn't play well. There's so many things. It's like people want us to trade, for like a backup big man or something like that. But it's like, who are we really going to go out and get right now? I don't really know if a trade is going to happen, especially in an unusual season, with everything going on in the world. But let's have
4 bench guys out. Who are we going to, trade for? Like, who are we going to give anyone? We don't have players to give,
Exactly. Yeah, I'm like, as much as we probably should make a trade, it's like, who are we actually going to go out and get, and who do we want to let go? Because I like a lot of players on this roster. Here's a little chat here. Can we talk about the call Devin Booker got in the fourth when he got the fifth foul? WTF was that? What do you think, Suns Geek? You got any thoughts on that, Evan?
I was like looking down at that time, but I saw the replay. I think I caught like half of it, and I just I gotta watch that again. I gotta see it. Somebody let me know if they have a video of that.
It just doesn't surprise me because I know how much you hate the referees. I'll just point this out. Etwan Moore early in the first quarter was contesting Jeremy Grant's shot and got called for a foul. So it's it's just little things like that, So if that answers his question in the chat, it's like we just get horrible calls. Devin Booker has no respect from the referees, and it's bad. Tony says we just need Sarge back. I totally agree. Dario Sarge will help us with our versatility. He'll help us in so many different areas, and it's just bad. So JV here is a Chicago Bulls fan, and he really wants Patrick Williams off of his team. And as much as Patrick Williams would probably be a big pickup for us, the Bulls aren't going to trade a guy they drafted number 4 overall. It's just that simple. Shout out to Sunsland, who is in the chat as well. Nico says, could we go out and get Bagley and bring him home to AZ for a backup big or a starting 4? I remember when Ayton was really, really struggling, Suns fans were calling for Ayton's head, and they were like, trade DeAndre Ayton for Marvin Bagley and Rashawn Holmes. And like, that's not happening. Like,
I wouldn't mind getting Holmes back. That'd be nice. Right.
That'd be a really nice. Rashawn Holmes played great. And I feel like they kind of gave up on him a little bit too early. I remember he got like arrested or something like that. It was the weirdest thing because he's a really nice guy and everything. That just, oh my God, that just brings back bad memories. But
I was looking for a video of Booker's foul, and I just saw that he had 4 turnovers this game, and all 4 of them were offensive fouls. So
because he gets no respect from the referees.
Yeah. Was it the one fourth quarter, 3:49 left? Yeah, that was
I think it was like a late whistle.
There's no way that that's an offensive foul. That's his natural shooting motion. Anybody that doesn't kick their leg out on like a baseline fadeaway like that they're not shooting right. That's a no way a foul.
I think the referees watch for like the kicking in, I don't know, because it's been controversial over the years. I think Reggie Miller did stuff like that, and it's really controversial when the legs are kicked out. So yeah, Frank Kaminsky started tonight. That was something I forgot to talk about early. I thought he played a pretty good game. I mean, he finished with 15 points. He was 3 for 4 from 3, 5 rebounds. He's aggressive. Frank, we were talking about DeAndre Ayton, catching the ball and going, being aggressive in the paint. Frank Kaminsky's kind of the same way. I mean, he's not going to have any flashy dunks or anything, but at least he drives and attacks to the rim. And as I've said, like lately, he's been playing pretty well. Suns fans treat him like he's like the worst player of all time, but I think he's pretty good, man.
It's either up or down with him. It's no in between. He'll either have a near triple-double or he'll, shoot 2 for 7. But he did have a good game tonight. I feel like on defense, he kind of got beat, and I feel like that happens a lot with him. But he's had a really good shooting night, which I feel like with him is he'll make 1 3 and then just like shoot 10 more for every 1 that he makes. And he'll get all the confidence in the world, which is not a bad thing if he's making them, but sometimes it goes a little too far. But yeah, tonight he had a really good game. In 22 minutes, he was I just realized he was +0, or I guess not.
See, not I hate that plus mine. I hate it. It's the worst stat of all time. I hate it. Chris Paul, 29 and 7 tonight, 7 for 14 from the field. It's weird, man, because Chris Paul, I feel like he does so much for us that sometimes he kind of gets like overlooked. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Or am I crazy?
No, I'm like stuttering here. It's his 7 of 14, and I can't even remember him taking 14 shots tonight.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He took some open threes, which I remember. And then 9 assists. I know he had that really good like bullet pass to Mikhail for the dunk. But yeah, I mean, I the mid ranges he runs pick and rolls, and then ends up with 7 of 14 shooting, and what do you have? 18, 19 points, 20.
But it's like, yeah, he had 20 points, but it's like he does all that, but we're talking about the bench and we're talking about Devin Booker. You know what I mean? It's like that's how great of a player Chris Paul is. And like I said, with Booker being out with that hamstring injury last week, Chris Paul was so good. He probably should have won Player of the Week, but he didn't.
He stepped up, yeah.
There's some good questions going on here in the chat. If you could get Kelly back, would you? I say it like this: for the right price. If contracts weren't an issue,
Uh-oh. I hope that's not just on my end. Or I hope that is just on my end. Say in the chat if Brandon's frozen for you guys. Yeah, is he frozen for everybody? Someone's got to screenshot that and send it to him. Oh no. Okay. Okay, yeah, he is frozen for everyone. Well, then I'll take over. Someone keep asking me questions. I'll take over the stream now. I'm coming for Brandon's job now that he's frozen. I'll take questions now. Keep them coming. Okay, so I'm officially taking over the stream.
I'm back.
Oh, I was just taking over your stream. I was gonna take
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. My bad. I should have warned you ahead of time that my internet just like doesn't like to work during live streams, like ever. I think there's been like one live stream where my internet was just like perfect. What was the last thing you heard me say?
I was more focused on your facial expression when I froze. I'm not quite sure.
We were talking about Kelly Oubre, and I think all I was saying was for the right price, I'd take him back because we could really use him right now.
Well, it depends on how he's shooting. If he's shooting, 1 for 10, I don't want him back. But if he has 40 again, then I'll think about it.
People are so funny in the chat right
here. I told him he had to screenshot that and send it to you.
Do it, please do it.
You know what it looked like? It looked like, I don't know if you've seen that's like screenshot of like Booker wiping his face with a towel and his eyes.
I have that on my phone. I have that on.
That's what it looked like.
I have that on my phone. JV, by the way, you come up with the craziest trades, man. You're crazy, bro. You're wild.
Mikhail and Cam? And
no way. Round? This guy's nuts, man. JV, you're cool, man, but you're crazy with your trade. Orlando says, would you trade Jones and Alexander for who? I really like Tyshawn Alexander, who's in the G League right now. He was an undrafted rookie that we got after draft day. The dude can defend. He's athletic. But I feel like if anyone is going to get traded at this point, it's Damian Jones, because that guy, he looked so good in Orlando, and he won a couple looked so good in Atlanta, and he won a couple championships with Golden State, but I don't know, man.
Rubio, I see Rubio off the bench would be awesome, but I don't know. I mean, the way it's not even his fault this season, I don't think, but the way he's being used in Minnesota, I don't think his trade value is very high right now, but I think it's still too much for us to give up at this point. I would obviously love Rubio back. I think he would love that, and I think that we would like that, to have a ball mover off the bench, that'd be nice, but I think even with his low trade value as of right now, then I don't think we can get him. I would like it though.
Let's see here. The Western Conference is tight. One loss can make us go down. Trailblazers, Nuggets, Phoenix Suns are a tie, so each game is very important. Exactly. And that's why I was talking about the record earlier, and just closing out games is super important, and there's so many games this season that the Suns should have won, but they didn't. I wanted to go over the schedule with you. Now, again, I don't really follow each and every single team, but we have Boston on the Super Bowl Sunday, which I am going live after that game, by the way. That's at 1:00. Boston is never an easy challenge. A team that I'm kind of keeping my eye on is the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is a team, they have young talent. They've just been playing a lot different. I think they're a really good defensive team. They started off the season really good. I'm nervous for that Cavs game. So it's Boston, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Philly, and Orlando, and Brooklyn. That's like our next 6-7 games, and I'm scared, man. Do you have any thoughts on the upcoming schedule?
I gotta pull it up right here so I can get like a visual on
Yeah,
it.
go
But
for it.
going back to what they said about the standings, I see we're 12-9, and right
Yep.
below us are Warriors and Spurs, who are both 12-10. So one loss would put us in the ninth spot. I don't think that'll put us below the Grizzlies. They're 9-8, but
Yeah.
yeah, that'll put us out of playoff contention with one loss right now.
And
So
it's
that's
funny, we're saying
nerve-wracking.
playoff contention, but like it really
20
does.
games in.
Yeah, but it kind of feels that way because even though it is a 72 game season, with the shortened season and all that, it's like it really feels like every game matters. And at first I was like, oh, I want to see where this team is 20 games in, and here we are 21 games in, and it feels like we're still figuring everything out and we're not consistent and every game matters. That's why this road trip I'm really scared for. Kind of feels like every game is like a playoff game kind of.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Like I said with the losses, it goes the other way with wins, because us, the Trailblazers and the Nuggets are all 12-9. So we get one more win and we're in the 4th seed, but we
Right.
get a loss and we're in the 9th seed. I don't think I've ever
Exactly.
seen it that close, together. One loss can put you up 2 or down 3.
And it's funny you say that because in years past, the Western Conference, I feel like has always been like that. The Western Conference is so loaded. Like I remember in 2013-14, the Suns won 48 games and they didn't make the playoffs. I think that happened to the Jazz too in years past. The Jazz have been playing really good, by the way.
Yeah, 18 and
Honestly,
5. Wow.
yeah.
And we beat them.
Honestly, Evan, I don't really know if I have anything else to say about this game. I'm glad we won. Still a lot of work to do. Do you have any just final thoughts?
I think we played not our best that we could, but I think we played well, and definitely, Josh Jackson and the poor shooting for the Pistons as a whole definitely helped out with the win tonight. But
Yeah,
other than that, no, that's about it.
exactly. Well, I appreciate you being on here, man. Sorry for my terrible internet connection.
No worries. Thank you
Um,
for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. Again, let people know where they can find you. It seems like you're really popular in the chat, but if you want to go ahead and shamelessly plug yourself, go for it.
My Twitter is EVXZ17. My name is Evan, and you could probably search my name and find me. And my stats account is the Valley Stats. So I'm trying to grow that and posting stats on there a lot. And
Yes.
yeah, so trying to balance those two, and appreciate you guys watching.
Yep. Yeah, go follow Evan. Go follow the Valley Stats. Check out my Twitter at Suns Geek on YouTube. I probably tagged him, so go follow him right now. Go follow the Valley Stats. Evan, thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate you guys. A strange win, but a win is a win. Got a really tough 7-6 game homestand coming up. I will be going live on Super Bowl Sunday against the Boston Celtics. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Brandon, aka Suns Geek, and if it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video about it. I will see you guys Sunday. God bless you guys and take care.